Welcome, everyone, to Unfiltered with Roxy, where we dive into real combos for real healing and change. I'm your host, Roxana Feenster, aka Roxy, and this is where mindfulness meets practicality. We're all about real talk that leads to real growth, healing, and change. Today's episode is an important one. All of them are important to me because they're my babies, but titled Prison to Polo, Susan Smallwood's Journey of Luxury, Legacy, and Mental Health. She is the vision of mental health now. We have a very grand guest with us, the incredible Susan Smallwood. Susan is a passionate advocate for mental health and wellness. She's dedicated her life now to empowering individuals through her unique insights and experiences. She is the CEO and owner of Grandiosity Events and La Grande Caviar brand. And I think she has a couple other business babies that she is in the middle of creating. And in this episode, we'll dive into the importance of self-advocacy, the power of community support, and remove mental illness and the steps you can take to prioritize your mental health and well-being. Whether you're navigating life's challenges or seeking inspiration to lift your spirit, Susan's wisdom is sure to touch you and be able to encourage you to another level. So let's get started. Susan, I'm so excited. I thank you so much for joining me and really helping support my business baby, my podcast. And you are at a beautiful background. I know some people will just be listening, but where are you right now? You're so
I
great.
am in my hood of Hollywood. I pulled over here because the beaches are closed because of the hurricane warning. So
Yes.
I'm here doing it, and I always go by the water because water is very healing for me.
Yes.
hmm
Me too. I think, that's probably why you and I connect so much because both of us are water people. Even though you're not a water sign, your birthday is coming up next week, right?
Yes, it is. Ooh la la. Next Saturday, I'll be in.
So, my mom is from Panama.
Oh, that.
Yes. So I plan to go hopefully next year with my family.
Do
That's
you
going to be
think
one of our family trips.
some Spanish?
I do. Sí, hablo español.
You learn something new every day. Ooh la la.
Yes, yes, yes. So I'm so glad to hear that you're going to my part of the woods. I'm sure you'll be
Yes.
doing something grand, or not my part, but where my family is from, and do something grand.
hmm
Susan, you had a big week. You have celebrated your what number polo event?
Number 8.
888. Is that a lucky
hmm
number or what?
It is, 8 in the Chinese numerology system means infinite, means wealth. And I said in my 8th year that it was going to take off. And while behind the scenes, it did not look like it. There were so many challenges and hiccups and fallouts and opposition, you name it, competition. And it almost didn't happen. But God, the universe, angels, and ancestors stepped in. They said, we're testing your faith to see if you believe in yourself enough.
Yeah.
And I kept going. And by the grace of God, the event happened. And
Yeah.
as a result of the event, I got a contract. Returning
Amen.
corporate sponsors, even though I had a mental breakdown on stage, I still have corporate sponsors coming back on board. That shows non-judgmental.
Yeah.
How can you judge somebody that has a mental breakdown while technically benefiting Black Mental Health Alliance?
And such a huge advocate for mental health.
Yes.
So you said a lot in there, and I think even your analogy in the beginning of everything that could go wrong, like it went well, it was beautiful. And actually, I know one of my friends went there and they enjoyed themselves
Oh,
very
good.
thoroughly. So it was beautiful. No one had said to me they didn't enjoy themselves, but you just saying like all of these things happen. And isn't that how mental illness happens sometimes? People can really be going through crisis and look great on the outside, but it's really a challenge. They can be going through a lot of turmoil on the side. So I know we'll dive into your side of that. But with the Polo and Jazz event, your 8th year, you benefited Black Mental Health Alliance. How did that feel that you were hobnobbing with the big dog and being able to bless a nonprofit like that?
So I'm accustomed to that. You know, it's been my lifestyle for many years. I'm not new to this. I'm true to this. This was my lifestyle before I went to prison. So it's not like it happened overnight, okay, for the people that just met me. So it's just leveraging the power of your platform and gaining the visibility with the Black Mental Health. Now more than ever, Black Mental Health Alliance is now known.
Yeah.
As a result, for the last 3 years, that Grandiosity Events has benefited them.
And you had a big corporate sponsor that is kind of a big deal. Can you talk about him a little bit? That gave BMHA a check?
World famous Arturo Fuente cigar owner, Carlito Fuente Jr. flew in on his private jet with his national sales director and regional sales director. That speaks volumes.
Yeah, that you're kind of a big deal, Miss Susan.
You know, I mean, Carlito invited me to his 70th birthday back in Tampa in April. And, you know, I've had dinner with him. I mean, just friends. He's very, very world famous success, 100-year-old brand, very humble. Let me just say, I want the audience to hear this. Real money is not pretentious.
Yeah.
Real money is pretentious. Real money is not pretentious. Okay, on to the next one.
And I just want to say I'm very proud of you. I know, like, I feel like you're my sister. You know that when I see your Instagram, I'll be proud of you, and I'm always encouraging and saying things, but it's because you've been such a light to me. Like, I remember I was going through a dark time, and you literally talked me off the ledge. I felt I was in a dark place, and I don't even know if I knew how dark I was, but I remember you being like, "No, shake yourself. You don't need to. You're not even this negative kind of thing, and you are just such a light. Like, you're always like, ooh la la, happy, happy grand rising." And I think you just touch people that way, where you're just such a light and a brightness. So I just wanted to add that. I mean, you're really someone that's real and that people like. I look up to you because I feel like my daughters can look up to someone that is real and cares about people in a real way and is making change in the world in a real way. And that's
Grandest thanks. I appreciate those beautiful words.
yes, yes, yes. So I know we're supposed to be talking about the event, and I don't know, did you want to add anything else about the event, the Grandiosity Polo event?
No, I'm grandly grateful for all the sponsors, vendors, guests,
Yes.
everybody that came out to support to witness history. I have not completed the acknowledgments. I'm overwhelmed and inundated with hundreds of photos and videos, the most ever in the history of Polo and Jazz. I haven't even viewed all the videos in its entirety myself, but what I'm seeing, I'm loving. I'm just sharing and sharing so the audience could see what they missed, And so be patient. Please be patient. Lots more images and acknowledgments are coming.
Yes, yes, yes. So I know we are also a big part of what the piece of mental health work that you're doing is about advocacy. Can you share some of your journey so the title of our podcast is From Prison to Luxury. Like, can you talk a little bit about that? And I know one of the things I'm very aware of is us repeating our trauma is traumatic. So only what you are comfortable with sharing. Other than that, people can really engage on your social media to know more. And Susan's going to talk about her new business baby that I'm going to let her have the thunder to share.
Thank you. Yeah. So From Prison to Polo, I love that title of this podcast. Who would have thought that I would be in the world of polo or caviar? And it's not just because I was in prison. That does not dictate someone's lifestyle. I've always had a lifestyle. What I'm doing with my platform is normalizing luxury. and introducing the culture to the cultures. A lot of the Black and brown cultures have not been exposed to the world of caviar or polo, and that's why I made it a point to bring in all Black polo players this year, so that it could be. Even though I've had Black polo players, but not all Black polo players, 2 Black polo playing teams. So, so you know that we can afford anything. I mean, it's within your grasp. You just have to be comfortable enough with yourself to want to acclimate to the your palate to put caviar or your lifestyle or events such as polo. So what's happening, and people may or may not admit to it, is they have trepidation. I don't care how much money they have, what their title, status, power is. People have trepidation about certain things. And I have personally witnessed this. You know, case in point, again, I know people that are very successful, and they'll be like, "Ooh, caviar," but you never even tasted it. How you gonna say, "Ooh," you know? So while they have the money,
very tasty.
yes, it is, especially mine, La Grande caviar. So while they're criticizing it, they're you know, without even giving it a chance. How about that? Same with polo. Oh, I don't want to be around the bourgeoisie people. I hear that. Oh, or you know, your events are too bourgeoisie. Well, that's how you feel about yourself. Because if you come to a grandiosity events, polo and jazz, the energy is a grand vibe.
Right.
So if you don't feel comfortable with your own self-esteem, that's on you. That's not on my event. You know, and so I want everyone to mesh together, mingle at a beautiful event, Black excellence.
Yes. And I think as we see more Black excellence get into those upper echelons of upper middle class, I think you'll see more of that because people really aren't used to, or you know what, maybe that's part of their self-awareness, like what you were saying as well, where they're not used to having those nice things and being able to walk in their grandness.
And that I'm telling you, these people have nice things. They have the means. It's something in their psyche that they feel that way about themselves. So it's not about your income. It's something within a person. Remember, live life grand is a powerful, positive mindset to attract everything you desire. I never once mentioned money. I've attracted a lot of this based on energy. Energy is currency. Money is currency. It's a flow. But you can still attain things from the universe by believing in yourself and attracting it with the frequency on which you are vibrating. So, you know, I know it's challenging for people that don't get it, but when you get it, you will get it.
I'm snapping my face to that one. So I definitely understand about the flow, even though I'm trying to get into the flow. So maybe we need to talk about that at another time because I definitely understand the idea of the energy and what I'm putting out, but like I need to get in my flow. And I think that's something that now that I'm older, I used to be like, oh, well, I need to do this. I need to get this degree. I need to get this position. Well, those things didn't make me happy. So now it's like, I need to get into my flow. And after that, all the other stuff that I esteem for will come.
Yes, yeah. So I have a ritual every day upon awakening. I listen to, and I've shared it with you, 528 hertz. There are different hertz levels, 963 hertz, 77 hertz. So whatever each binaural beat does something to our cells. Remember, our cells are listening to us. That's why you have to be mindful and conscious. Be mindful, be demure, speak positive.
Don't talk down on yourself. Right.
You got to speak positive. Our cells are listening to us. And you create, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. Whether you speak positive or negative, you will attract it to you. So again, when you believe in yourself and the words that you write, pen to paper is a contract to yourself. That's why journaling is very important.
Yeah.
Even when you make the post, my post, I always say live life brand. Positive, positive.
Yes,
You know,
that should be in your core. Yep.
yes, I'll do my best not to say anything negative. The only time I might go off is when someone pisses me the fuck off. So, but no,
I'm good until you get me to that mat. I'm done. And you don't want to hear all the things I'm gonna say after.
right. So people know my personality. If I say something, oh, somebody done pissed her off. So that's true. Because usually I'm like flow, universe, flowy,
Yeah.
happy go lucky. But don't get that other side. Because you know what? Just because I'm on my spiritual healing journey does not mean that I am not human. Does not mean I do not have feelings. Does not mean that I won't curse you out. Okay, so that's part of being human and this living on this earth in this lifetime,
Yeah.
and so it is what it is.
And I think if more people would just flow in their realness, we wouldn't have all those problems, because fine if you don't like me and stuff, we could do what we have to do work and then move on. But it's like when they get into this plastic kind of life that they start, thinking we're supposed to be in that box and flow the way they are. And it's like, no, I'm not doing that.
And so many people are walking around, they're faking pretentious and hiding behind material things, hiding behind their title, power,
Big house,
whatever,
big
you know.
car. Yeah.
But how do you feel on the inside? I
Yeah.
was that chick. I was hiding behind material possessions,
Yeah.
but I was hurting on the inside. So I know, I recognize it. When I see it, I recognize it.
Yeah.
You can't fool me because I've been there. So, I feel like everyone should live in their full authenticity. It takes more energy to be someone that you're not.
Yeah, definitely.
When you are who you are meant to be in this lifetime, you reduce you reduce the levels of stress, cancer, ailments,
Mm.
debilitating diseases, and you stay youthful because you're not holding on and you're not festering.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
gotta let it go.
Yeah.
You know what? So many, and I was this person, I was a people pleaser.
Yeah.
That's another thing. You gotta let that go. If people walk away from you, let them go.
Let them go. Yeah.
Let them go. And I used to, cry and chase and whatever. Goodbye and good riddance.
Yeah.
That's where I am now.
I'm
It's
finally
so
getting to that. Yeah.
Mhm.
Hard for a people pleaser because you just want people to be happy. You want to fix things. But my therapist yesterday was like, well, if you keep investing in this bank and you're not getting anything out, why the hell are you still doing it? And I was like, I guess somewhere in there, I want someone to show up for me grand and kind of swoop me up and I guess rescue me, but I'm doing all the hard things by myself anyway. So what exactly would they be rescuing me for,
At the end of the day, it's God, the universe, angels, and ancestors that lift us up, that provide for us, that protect us.
Mm.
Because I used to always seek happiness and love outside of me, external factors, people. And it took for this journey, it took for all this pain and trauma. For I didn't even get it. I want to say I really got it in the last couple of years after I was 50 years old. I wish I had sought therapy many years ago. Maybe I would have got it sooner. Um, I had some issues, and coping. I'll delve into that in my docu-series. But, at the end of the day, when you become conscious and you recognize the universe always sends you messages. And so you know what to do and what not to do. And I can just attest to my own life.
Yeah. Well, I think those are like spiritual principles that we have to get to because really God doesn't want us to be running after other people, running after things. He put us here for a reason, and those are things that we need to run down and do because that's our purpose. That's what's going to make us feel good. So that when we close our eyes and transition to be even greater, it's, oh, I have peace. I did all those things,
Yeah. Yes, absolutely.
So I think we did a great job talking about self-advocacy. You went into even deeper levels, which I love, because I think sometimes if we don't have those kind of conversations, like that's why the whole reason why I did this podcast, talking to people like you who had all these tidbits, and it's like literally changed my life. I can't remember, you had said something to me about the music that you were listening to, one of your rituals, that you were doing affirmations, the gems, the water bottle gems, which we will put a link
Yes, yes,
to.
yes.
But those things that I didn't know about before, I knew that after talking to Susan. Hopefully people will listen to this conversation and listen to those different frequencies, be able to get their own healing. Because healing isn't just by therapy either. Like, yes, that helps us go through the steps, point out truths about us, about other people. But I think it's also those other modalities, like going to the beach. I remember coming to the beach after I lost my mom and just having that healing that, you can't even, I can't explain it. But what do you think, Susan?
No, absolutely. I mean, you see, I'm on the water here. It's not the beach, but it's the water. It is something about Mother Nature. One with nature, especially when you're bare feet and the minerals from the nature soak up into your feet, and again, it gets into your cells. Um, just healing from Mother Nature.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Community support. How important is an organization like Black Mental Health Alliance, NAMI? Another one is maybe what's another one? I can't think of it now.
It's very important because we need to get the word out. Sometimes I've experienced this, and I'm not saying anything negative about any particular organization, but sometimes board members don't really do anything. I don't know why they're even on the damn board.
Yeah,
Just in my truth. I was hustling and grinding more for
yeah,
foundations and then for their sales
yeah, which is crazy. Yeah,
members. Just when an individual like myself or anybody keeps pushing and that's their passion,
yeah,
people start listening.
yeah.
So, and what people don't know is it's not like I got paid from them foundations. I did
Right.
this on grit and passion.
Right. And I was
You
just
know,
telling you that you didn't get any money from that. All of that was for the organization. So you do fundraising from your own pool of contacts for that event that for that nonprofit that you're fundraising. You're not taking anything from them for that.
no, I not in the last 8 years. I just changed my business model. I
Yeah.
am now charging because I am a for profit, even though I have a nonprofit.
Yeah.
But also for 8 years, I'm about to be 57 years old, and I cannot be in the streets uh, campaigning again like I was because
Yeah.
mentally it's too much, especially when you're not getting paid from them and you got to raise the money in capital to
Yeah.
produce even give them the awareness out in the street, calling everybody, acting like a bill collector. I'm not
Yeah.
doing that no more. So
Yeah.
now did we change the business model?
That's
Yeah.
awesome. And I'm glad to know that, because I think that's something that Black women take on a lot as well. We take on these projects, they're passion projects, but it's like also we need to have our own boundaries that, like, this is not good for my mental health. I'm not sleeping. I'm not able to move the way I need to move. So next chapter, I'm going to do it different.
Yes, exactly. And so that's why I finally made, making history almost 2 Sundays ago. People starting to recognize the corporate sponsors, like, wow, she did it. Um, and to come back on board and then have perfect strangers say, hey, I want to help you. I want to sponsor you. I want to buy my tables early, Susan.
Right. That's
That's that is music to my ears.
right. Right. That's so
Ooh la
awesome.
la.
So reducing stigma. What do you think are the biggest misconceptions about mental illness that contribute to stigma?
It's when people call people crazy. My whole life I was called crazy, and I'm crazy. I'm crazy about my passion, about my gift. Yes, I am crazy. But when people call you crazy because they're judging you, because they don't know what you went through, because I never told anybody that I was sexually violated as a child. I didn't, I dealt with military sexual trauma. I went into the Army at 17 years old, dealt with it for 3 years. The military hid my records. Then, I'm crazy because when I go try to file a claim, oh, no, that didn't happen. But they hid my records. Um, it's a constant battle to prove yourself.
Yeah.
So when people call you crazy, then it's like, oh, you're dismissed. And so you have to do something very profound, very grand for people to listen to you. So I knew when I came home from prison that I was going to do something grand to prove myself. But I never shared my mental health journey until 3 years ago. I was diagnosed October 4th of 2020 by a culturally competent practitioner. She was Black. For years before that, I would go, well, when I came home from prison, when I was in prison, I had therapy. When I came home, I continued therapy, but it wasn't Black, competent or practitioners. It took the psychologist, psychiatrist to sit through her lunch break and accurately diagnose me and say, you have PTSD. Do you know that was a sense of relief? I was like, there's a name to what I'm experiencing. I'm not crazy. I'm just dealing with traumatic, it's compounded childhood, military, abusive relationships, prison, all that. It was compounded since a young girl. So I think people should have grace and mercy for people that have gone through stuff. Nobody's perfect. The ones that judge have the most skeletons in their closet anyway.
That part. Yeah.
Yeah. And don't let me start a new book and series on that. Keeping my mouth closed on that one. Okay.
One of the things that I really have seen with the stigma about mental health, that I think when people are really going through a crisis, they don't want to tell people because then it's like, oh, well, did you take your med? Like I have a coworker who said if she is, I guess, off or not, or she snaps at somebody in her house, they'll say, well, did you take your meds? And she's like, that's not the fucking point. The point is, I'm trying to put a boundary and you're sitting here like it's my mental illness or my mental diagnosis that X, Y, and Z. And no, that's not it. Like, and so I think that's an important thing for us to talk about too, that if somebody tells you they are bipolar or schizophrenic, if they're going through something, it's not necessarily from their diagnosis. Like the situation can really be messed up. Someone can really be messed up to them. So we need to listen to them and show up in a real way. Like you were saying, like, don't just sit there and be like, well, they're bipolar, they might be hearing things. They have schizophrenia. It's like, no, that we need to listen to every situation that presents as different.
Well, you know what? And then sometimes people use your diagnosis against you.
Yes.
Narcissists.
Yes.
Narcissists will use your diagnosis against you. Yes. And then they want to go around telling everybody this and that. And then they're so perfect and high and mighty when they're the most craziest being and hiding it. So sometimes people use your diagnosis against you, and you got to recognize when it's a trigger because they know what to do to push your button.
That button, yeah.
So that's why it's very, very important for a person to be very conscious and know who they're dealing with and how to handle them. How to handle the situation. Let me say that because you may not be able to handle them. Handle the situation. I dealt with so many narcissists behind the scenes while doing this polo and jazz. Yeah. Because I've already experienced it, they couldn't fuck with me. Because I already do this.
Right.
So when you recognize, you just learn to handle the situation differently.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you for sharing that because I think sometimes society will say, oh, we care, but they don't want to ask people how they really are and really listen or really show up in a real way, like be a true person that is alliant. What is it? A good alliance for people through mental health crisis and challenges, and that is a good point.
Yeah.
So, our last section, prioritizing mental well being. And you've already talked about this, some simple everyday steps that people can take to prioritize their mental well being. You talked about music, which we're going to put in the notes. You also talked about your affirmation. What else do you think?
Well,
That
you think crystal energies are real because crystals come from Mother Earth. So that is real. Each of them have a different healing modality. And so the crystal energy, I actually have an altar. Some people believe in altars. I actually have a shaman that I go see. And I'm pretty much that's my ritual. That's
okay?
been my ritual for a long time. I even sleep with the binaural beats.
Okay.
So when I wake up, it's still playing. So I sleep with it. Um, it helps with to help me sleep and to process quietly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the things that I realized when I'm listening, well, a couple years ago, I think my husband used to like to be with the TV on. But it's like your mind, even at that rest state, is still taking in all that information. And one night we decided not to have the TV on and just seeing the peacefulness of that. I tried recently to do the meditation music, and it really does. Even one night I couldn't really sleep. It really did help me feel rested, even if
Mm-hmm.
I didn't necessarily sleep the whole night.
Yes. And, oh yeah, you definitely don't want. I don't even own a TV, and haven't owned a TV in 10 years, and I don't even think I don't watch TV unless I'm somewhere and the TV's on. But I don't allow that negativity to. I don't
Yeah.
ingest that negativity because as an empath, I can feel things.
Yeah.
I have anxiety disorder as well, but because that's why I do listen to the binaural beats because it helps minimize my anxiety. Um, yeah, I used to have it so bad. It was calling 911 like every week, thinking I was going to die because my heart was palpitating so fast.
Yeah.
So, so thank God I have not, knock on wood, I haven't had an anxiety attack in a long time because I had to learn how to manage, process, and handle situations and not be reactionary.
Yeah.
Be
Which,
reactionary.
yeah.
Hmm.
Thank you for sharing that. How can individuals encourage their loved ones to prioritize their mental health as well? Which is hard. Hard question.
It is because everyone's hustling and bustling.
Yeah.
But what does it matter if you accumulate wealth, success, title, and power, and then you're dead, or you have an ailment, you're
Yeah.
in a wheelchair, or you got amnesia?
Yeah.
I would rather live out the rest of my lifetime having no ailments, having the right state of mind.
Yeah.
So you got to prioritize that, or that's going to prioritize you.
Yep. Agreed. And I think also listening to um different formats of information, not just the TV, because like you said, it is very negative. Because I think when we listen to different information sources about energy, healing,
Um,
wellness, then it's like you're picking up a different way to live that's not
mhm.
toxic. American culture is toxic. To me, that thing of like you were saying, just driving, driving, driving to get money, to get power, to use people, all of these things that you see on these TV shows, it's not a well way to live. It's just not, y'all. It's just not.
Oh, it's not. That's
You
why
have your
I'm not
reason, but
programmed. I'm not programmed by these shows, TV, movies, or news. So when you allow yourself to be programmed, then you become a slave. I'm
yeah,
not going to be anybody's slave. I'm going to be a slave to myself or my God, angels, and ancestors.
yeah, definitely. So, last question. What resources would you recommend for those seeking to learn more about mental health and wellness?
Resources, of course, Google can be your best friend. Seek a culturally competent practitioner, someone that you trust. Um, Go to the beach. If you don't trust anybody, trust yourself.
Yeah.
That's who you need to trust first is yourself and God. So just
Right.
when you start there, then the universe will bring you the right people, places, and things.
Yeah.
But you know, you can't be scatterbrained thinking this person, that person, this person, that, and drugs, alcohol, sex is going to get it. You got to go within, go within. Then the universe will tell you what you need to do. It will guide you.
Yeah. Definitely. So I'm so grateful that you are joining us today. The only thing with Google, you need to make sure that it's a good source you're getting information from. Finding a practitioner that really is culturally affirming for you can be life changing. I love my therapist, but the last part is the most important part, and that's listening to your inner voice
That's
because
right.
you know what your healing needs to look like, and you know the things that are not good for your spirit, your soul, your inner man, your mind. So we're gonna leave it at that. Susan, pan to us the backdrop there. It looks beautiful.
And thank you. Yes, like I said, it's not the beach. It's in my hood of Hollywood. Isn't that beautiful? The water.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much, Susan. Any last words you want to leave us with?
Live life grand every day. Ooh,
Ooh,
la, la.
grand. Ooh la la. Thank you, Susan Smallwood. I appreciate you. Love you. Have an awesome rest of your time in Hollywood. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to Unfiltered with Roxy. I hope you have really enjoyed this episode and that after listening to it, you have had some real healing and change.
See you later.
Thank you, Susan.